What's up, everybody? So we did the time-lapse video, a whole bunch of crazy stuff going on. So all the electronics are in right now and we're ready to see how this thing drives. I already see a couple of things that I don't like. It's scary steering, but I'll talk about that later. Let's go see how this thing drives just the way I built it, out of the box with the manual. Nothing special done yet. Haven't adjusted nothing. Same tires, same wheels, same everything, just my electronics. Let's see what happens. So you'll see, oh my God. It's fine at shallow angle, but as soon as I pour a lot of angle, the wheels touch the low control arm, which makes it bind up and then it spins around. Alright, so my first initial problem that I see already is, see how this wheel stops, but this one still continues. See how it keeps on going? Which you have, you know, adjusting increment while you're driving. It's just changing it constantly, which is a problem. At some point, this one's fighting this one, and it makes the car stop and makes the rear keep on going, which makes you spin out. Then, how the wheel, if you film from this side, is leaning over. You know, instead of having a flat contact patch, it's falling over, which I don't like that either. That's wrong. And then same deal. If I turn in that direction, how much the wheel's falling over. You see that? It's not good. And how much this wheel stops and touches the arm over here. It touches this arm, which means this wheel stops instantly. It's like a left foot brake technique, which you don't want. And this one's falling over because of the caster. Well, because of the KPI, which I'll have to remove. And as soon as I do that, then these guys can turn freely. And if they can spin freely, then the rear will have a harder time spinning past the front, right? And that's what we want. We want the rear to stay away from the front, so which will allow us to control speed and stop easier and just more control and so forth. So I think my next step would probably is to change the offset of the front wheels to get away from this stopping problem, and to put more stickier tires on the front than the rear, which will give us more front end grip. So that's the front end. Let me explain to you the rear end that I don't like, or what I don't like about the rear end. If you look at it, it has a lot of toe in, well, 3 degrees toe in, which is horrible, because if I'm traveling in this direction, this guy is the only wheel that's got full contact, full grip. This guy, in turn, now is fighting against this guy, because if you think about it, this one's pointing in that direction, this one's pointing in this direction, I'm sliding in that direction, right? The triangle or wedge, right, you can imagine all the weight goes to these 3 wheels. If I have full contact patch here, sliding in this direction pretty much, and this guy's trying to slide in this direction, you won't have a constant grip on these back wheels, which is horrible. So my Instamatic, I need a toe, zero toe, which is probably more out here, right? Like that, which now in turn will give me full grip. Not just that, because we're towed in on the rear, your suspension won't be traveling straight up and down. It will now be traveling backwards, away from the wheels, which is horrible too. So yeah, somehow I need to figure out zero toe on the rear, and I'll show you what that does. But my first thing that I'm going to do now is add some more grip to the front end, make it a little bit wider than front, and I'll show you what that does.